The ratings for Rachel Maddow continue to plunge as her dishonest reporting turns off even liberal viewers. In this video, we're going to take a look at the colossal collapse of this left-wing activist disguised as a journalist and how we can expect that in many respects, her fall from grace is just beginning. You're going to love it. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. If this is your first time here at this channel, a warm welcome to all of you. We post 2 videos a day analyzing current events and some super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You're going to absolutely love interacting with this online community of conservatives from all over the world. They're simply the best. Now, before we get into the colossal fall of Rachel Maddow, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that is none other than the one and only Robert Herjavec, the multimillionaire investor, now TV star from the hit show Shark Tank. Robert has an amazing opportunity for you. He and his team of ultra successful angel investors are here to help you get in on ground floor investment opportunities for as low as just $50. Watch the free video at getangelrich.com or just simply click on the link in the description below to see how you can participate in these potentially lucrative deals before they go mainstream. Do not wait. Check out that video at getangelrich.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Fox News is reporting that MSNBC's most popular program, The Rachel Maddow Show, continues to implode in its viewership. The Fox report actually says that the Maddow Show continued in May its extensive nosedive in the cable news ratings. And the reason for such is rather simple. Many critics are pointing out the very simple fact that Maddow has spent the last several years misleading her viewers. Maddow finished May by getting bumped back to 6th place. She finished behind 5 different Fox News programs in total viewership, including non-primetime shows such as The Five and Special Report with Bret Baier. Her show's performance in May was even more embarrassing when it came to the key demographic of 25 to 54-year-olds, where she averaged just over 450,000 viewers, which put her in 7th place among the demographic, falling behind 5 Fox programs, and if you can believe it, even 1 program on MSNBC's fellow liberal network, CNN. That was Cuomo's primetime. It actually beat Maddow in this demographic, despite the fact that Cuomo has seen a dramatic ratings drop due to the cringe-worthy bro-friendly interviews he was having on a regular basis with his New York governor brother, Andrew Cuomo. What a disaster. Fox News notes, even the little-watched Anderson Cooper 360 managed to tie Maddow among the key demographic in May. As it turns out, Maddow has been outside the top 5 cable news programs for months now, dropping in viewership over the past 3 straight months. And this one, we've had nothing less than a totally unprecedented news cycle with the coronavirus and the George Floyd killing and the riots that ensued. Now, what we have to do here is remind ourselves just how far Maddow has fallen in all of this. At the height of the Robert Mueller investigation surrounding this whole supposed Russian collusion conspiracy to help Trump win the election in 2016, we have to remember that Maddow was actually on the top, man. She was #1 in the ratings. She topped Sean Hannity on Fox with the coveted 25 to 54-year-old demographic, which is quite an achievement. In that sense, in terms of advertisers, I mean, Maddow was the queen of the 9 o'clock hour. She was beating Hannity with the 25 to 54-year-old viewers that advertisers covered so much. She was on top of the cable news media world. And every single night, she promised her viewers that this was it. That the Russian dossier, that the Bob Mueller investigation, they were once and for all going to bring Trump down. And then the Mueller report came out. And once Bumbling Bob released his report that found absolutely no hint of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign on the one hand, and no obstruction of justice on the other, Maddow was staring at nothing less than her own demise. Now, again, this isn't just right-wing wishful thinking here. Leftist liberals admit this. The Washington Post's Eric Wemple lays out in exhaustive detail a review of Maddow's reporting and discussion of the Steele dossier, and his assessment of Maddow could not possibly be more scathing. Here's what he wrote. When small bits of news arose in favor of the dossier, the franchise MSNBC host pumped air into them. At least some of her many fans surely came away from her broadcast thinking the dossier was a serious piece of investigative research, not the flim-flam, quick-twitch game of telephone outlined in the Horowitz report. She seemed to be rooting for the document. And when large bits of news arose against the dossier, Maddow found other topics more compelling. She was there for the bunkings, absent for the debunkings, a pattern of misleading and dishonest asymmetry. Now, this assessment is dead on. Maddow represents the kind of utter and complete nonsense that you get when you disguise left-wing activists as journalists, okay? You get an unmistakable pattern of misleading and dishonest asymmetry. Now, again, note that this fellow at the Washington Post, what he's saying here, it's not simply asymmetry. It's not simply a matter of consistently reporting one political side, the left-wing side, as good, holy, righteous, and just, while presenting the other political side, the political right, as evil, wicked, and bad. Okay, that's certainly bad enough. And of course, we see that asymmetry all the time presented as news by the corporatist globalist media. We have studies such as the Shorenstein report that found that the media's coverage of Trump's first 100 days in office was 90% negative. You heard that right. 90% negative. And it's only gotten worse since then. The Marxist media sees Trump as an existential threat to the liberal progressive agenda. And so he needs to be stopped by all means necessary. And we've found of late that includes shutting down the economy and even supporting and championing the looting and destroying of our cities as legitimate forms of protest. But it's not just this kind of asymmetry that this fellow Wemple at the Washington Post complains about when it comes to Rachel Maddow. It's not just representing the Democrats as angels and the Republicans as demons. No, this fellow at the Washington Post actually accuses Maddow of a pattern of deceitful asymmetry, what he calls misleading and dishonest asymmetry. Jim Garrity over at National Review noted that when the Horowitz report came out, confirming that the dossier was indeed a bunch of utter and complete fabricated nonsense, bought and paid for by the Clinton campaign, by the way, Garrity notes that the day that report was released detailing how the FBI used what they knew to be a fraudulent document to get FISA warrants to spy on the Trump campaign, Maddow completely ignored the report's findings and focused instead solely on really the more idiotic element of the report, which denied any anti-Trump political bias motivating the decisions made by the FBI to spy on the Trump campaign. So listening to Maddow, you would have walked away with the notion that the Horowitz report actually debunked Trump's assertion that the Steele dossier was the basis for the FBI's Russia investigation. That was it. Horowitz concluded that Trump was wrong, and that's all you need to know. Maddow shows up each and every night to tell what's remaining of her audience that Trump is Hitler, he's evil, he's the most horrific person on the planet, and so it's only a matter of time before a day of reckoning comes to take him away. That's been her message for years. And according to the Washington Post, her message did not involve reporting. Her message involved rooting. She rooted for the dossier and dressed up that rooting as reporting, which, if you think it through, is the ultimate fraud. It's the ultimate fabrication. I think when all is said and done, what makes the Steele dossier so perfectly apropos for the mainstream Marxist media is that its fabrication become a symbol of the fabricated reality that the mainstream media presents to us as news each and every day. The Steele dossier is the mainstream media. The mainstream media is itself a fabrication, a partisan invention of dishonest asymmetry, and ironically is experiencing its own day of reckoning. And no one exemplifies that more than Rachel Maddow. Her fall from grace has been nothing short of stunning. She was on top of the news world, the height of the Russian collusion fraud, and once it was exposed as a fraud, her ratings collapsed. According to Fox News again, Maddow lost nearly 500,000 viewers her first episode following the release of the Mueller report. 500,000 of her viewers turned her off after Bumbling Bob ruined her nightly anti-Trump rants. Then she plummeted another 13% in April from the previous year. Then in May, she began losing her audience from precisely that 25 to 54-year-old demographic. She went from 550,000 viewers between the age of 25 to 54 in March to just over 400,000 in May. And again, just to put that all in perspective here, there are conservative YouTubers with $100 webcams who are getting more views than the multi-million-dollar corporation MSNBC's #1 show. Let that hit you. Just put that in perspective. And now, as of May of this year, Maddow's fallen from first place all the way down to 6th. She's trailing 5 Fox News shows in terms of total viewers. So there's little question here that Rachel Maddow and her zeal for left-wing activism has experienced nothing less than a humiliating fall. And now even her fellow left-wing activists in the mainstream Marxist media are calling her out on it. She's done. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my video I just uploaded on how more and more leftist liberals are realizing that the riots sweeping our nation's cities are destroying the Democrats. You're going to absolutely love it, and you're not going to believe it given what the mainstream media keeps telling us. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.